Have you ever wondered why some people seem to carry a quiet sense of peace, even when the world around them is falling apart? You might think they were simply born lucky. You might think they have fewer problems than you do. But psychology suggests something much deeper. Happiness isn't a gift from fate. It isn't a destination you arrive at once you have enough money or the right person by your side. Happiness is a literal configuration of your mind. It is a physical structure built by the architecture of your daily habits. Your brain is not a finished product. It is more like soft clay. Every thought you repeat, every small action you take, leaves a permanent mark. This is what psychologists call neuroplasticity. It means you are not stuck with the brain you have today. You can actually reconfigure the neural pathways that dictate how you feel, how you react, and how you experience the world. If you feel emotionally tired or stuck in a loop of negativity, it's not because you are broken. It's because your brain has been trained to survive rather than to thrive. The first habit of a reconfigured mind is the appreciation of the micro moment. Most people spend their lives waiting for the big wins, the promotion, the wedding, the vacation. But the brain doesn't work that way. High-intensity joy is fleeting. People who are genuinely happy have trained their brains to find biological rewards in the mundane. They notice the steam rising from a morning coffee. They feel the texture of the air. By consciously acknowledging these tiny sparks, you are telling your brain that the world is a safe and rewarding place. Over time, your brain begins to scan for these moments automatically. The second habit involves changing your internal narrator. We all have a voice in our heads that comments on our lives. For many, that voice is a harsh critic, pointing out every flaw and predicting every failure. When you speak to yourself this way, your brain stays in a constant state of low-level threat. It releases cortisol, the stress hormone, which clouds your ability to feel joy. Psychology suggests that by intentionally practicing self-compassion, speaking to yourself as you would to a dear friend, you physically lower your stress response. You are rewiring your mind to be a place of refuge rather than a courtroom. Another profound habit is the practice of intentional discomfort. It sounds counterintuitive. Why would seeking discomfort make you happy? Because a brain that only seeks comfort becomes fragile. It begins to view any small inconvenience as a disaster. When you voluntarily take on small challenges, like a cold shower, a difficult workout, or learning a complex new skill, you are building the neural pathways of resilience. You are teaching your brain that you are capable of handling stress. This creates a deep underlying sense of security that no external circumstance can take away. We must also look at how we consume the world. In the modern age, our brains are bombarded with cheap dopamine. Every notification, every endless scroll, every quick fix of entertainment provides a temporary spike followed by a deep crash. This leaves your brain's reward system exhausted and numb. A key habit for rewiring is the digital fast. By stepping away from the noise, you allow your dopamine receptors to reset. You regain the ability to feel pleasure from simple things. You stop comparing your internal reality to someone else's edited highlight reel. In the silence, your mind begins to heal. There is also the habit of the social mirror. We are social creatures, but many of us live in a state of social isolation even when surrounded by people. Deep happiness is often linked to the quality of our connections. It isn't about how many friends you have. It's about how seen you feel. Psychology suggests that one honest, vulnerable conversation is worth more to your brain chemistry than 100 superficial interactions. When you practice being your authentic self with another person, your brain releases oxytocin, which acts as a natural buffer against anxiety and depression. One of the most powerful habits is the shift from getting to giving. When we are unhappy, we tend to become very self-focused. We obsess over what we lack. But there is a biological helper's high that occurs when we perform acts of kindness. It shifts the brain from a state of scarcity to a state of abundance. Even a small gesture, a sincere compliment, helping a neighbor, or sharing a resource, signals to your brain that you have enough to give. This rewires your perception of your own life, making you feel wealthier in spirit than you did before. The seventh habit is the art of physical movement as a mental reset. Your body and mind are not two separate entities. They are a single, integrated system. When you move your body, you are sending a signal to your brain that you are active and alive. Exercise isn't just about muscles. It's about flushing out the stagnant energy of rumination. It forces the brain to focus on the present moment, breaking the cycle of overthinking that so often leads to unhappiness. Then there is the habit of reframing. Two people can experience the exact same event, yet one will see a tragedy, and the other will see an opportunity for growth. This isn't just positive thinking. It is a cognitive skill. When something goes wrong, a reconfigured brain asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" Or, "How can I use this?" By consistently looking for the lesson in the pain, you prevent your brain from becoming a victim of its environment. You take back the power over your own emotional state. The ninth habit is the cultivation of silence. We live in a world that is terrified of being quiet. But silence is where the brain processes emotion. Many people stay busy just to avoid the thoughts that surface when things get still. However, by practicing just 10 minutes of intentional silence or meditation every day, you train your brain to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. You create a space between the stimulus and your response. In that space lies your freedom. Rewiring your brain is not an overnight transformation. It is a quiet, daily commitment to these small shifts in perspective and behavior. It is about choosing, over and over again, to build a mind that supports you. Don't assume that you are destined to be unhappy. You are the architect. And sometimes, the quietest changes in your routine lead to the loudest transformations in your life. If you love understanding why people think and behave the way they do, subscribe to Silent Mind Files. Because here, we don't just watch behavior, we decode the mind behind it.